Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to this topic of RPMs. In this topic, we are going to see what is an RPM and why the Linux based operating systems require RPMs and what brought them into this stage of using RPM functionality. So before we get any further, RPM is actually it stands for Red Hat Package Manager. Okay, as the name indicates, this is started by Red Hat, but this is not only for Red Hat, this is for all flavors of Unix, for Linux, basically all the Linux flavor. Plus, there are other operating systems which have started using this RPM concept. Okay, so previously in the olden days, what used to happen is that whenever you install any new applications, you download the software, you untar it, you configure the build environment, compile it, and when it comes to installing the application, you had no way of telling what file belonged to what application. Okay, so let's say there are thousands of application in your system, and if you install it this way, it will be a nightmare to perform uninstallations, perform installations, query the installation, find out which version of what software is present, and all that stuff. So that led to the creation of RPM. So RPM solved this particular issue. RPM uses a standard central database. Okay, so that contains information about all softwares installed on the system. Okay, so the previous problem that we had, the bottleneck that was there, is no way of tracking which software, which application, which package is present. But this central utility, central RPM tools, which has a central database, keeps track of all softwares which is installed on the system. So what you can do is you can query the software. So you can just query and find out whether a particular package is installed or not, what version of that package is installed, what files are owned by that particular package. So all that information can be found using this query to the RPM database. So that is the reason why the RPM was built and people started using RPM. So before we continue with the examples of RPM, how to create it and all that information, what I'll do is I will just list down some of the reasons why RPM came into existence and what was the disadvantage of unpackaged softwares. Okay, so as we have seen that when we install a package, there is no way of telling which files are owned by which particular package. It's difficult. Upgrade becomes very difficult. So the first and the foremost thing is no way to tell which files are owned by which particular package. So the ownership becomes, and which files belongs to which package. So this becomes difficult. Next thing is the update becomes very difficult. So when you try to update, you will not know which are the files which I should be worried about. Security, let's say there are security bottlenecks identified it will be difficult to identify which particular application or package it belongs to. Then there could be a duplication could be there. Let's say someone has installed with one name and you installed with some other name, and there are chances of duplication is there, and support is totally nightmare for this type of. So support, let's say if you want to administer it, you want to manage it, you want to control it, it becomes very difficult. Okay, so these are some of the drawbacks why people got away from the traditional way of installing the different softwares, and that is where the RPM came into existence. So just to recap, it is difficult to track installed files. Manual tracking after each installation is there, and you need to use find and tar and vmdiff command to find out what has happened. Okay, so that is why the RPM came into existence. So in the next topic, we will cover about how to install an RPM, how to configure an RPM, how to update an RPM. Okay, so that's all for this particular topic. Thank you for joining me and have a nice day. Bye bye.